Bitch, you better load. Don't play with me.
There
Oh,
she is. Beautiful.
gosh. I'm always fear it's going to crap out on me.
Why?
I don't know. The software is very touchy. We should got the notification.
For
Yeah, it's live. Okay.
what's right
Share it.
there? Huh?
I'm just sharing it.
Yeah, probably should too, huh?
Tune in, please.
Huh? How do I share?
I'm just sharing it.
Yeah, probably should too, huh? Oh, there she is.
Tune in, please.
Huh? How do I share?
I'm just sharing it.
Yeah, probably should too, huh? Oh, there she is.
Tune in, please.
It keeps talking in my headphones. So much you already
Is it
said.
is it yours?
What?
Is because I have mine silent.
Oh yeah, no, it was talking to me.
Okay.
It confused me. I thought you were like saying. I still have my other one. Shit. Oh no. Do you remember where I had that Gronk video at?
Was it on your phone?
Shit, I know, but where? Oh, no?
Oh, you got rid of it.
I didn't, though.
Safari?
My Safari is on. Oh, it's in a different window.
There you go.
I was like, oh god, it's gone.
Inviting a few people. Share it to one more page, then we can get it going. This is very difficult.
Yeah. I tried getting us like a big ass like whiteboard
Oh yeah, I need to do that.
to like try and put behind us. Like I found one at work, it was old. And it had like marks like stained into it and it wouldn't come off.
Not even alcohol.
Well, I didn't try that. It was sitting there. I think it's an old one. I was like, I'm gonna take this, and then I picked it up, and it was kind of Bobo looking.
Bobo looking.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I guess if I want one, I'll just go buy one. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I heard that.
It was my computer.
Okay.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Is this recording? Yeah, it is. Okay. I swear to God, if it stops again, we're gonna have
Last week.
we're gonna have a problem. Hello. Okay.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Roundtable Sport Talk. Brett and I here with you. Friday afternoon, just after, about 1 o'clock. I wanted to start you guys off with recapping last night's Week 2 game, Baltimore and the Bengals. Brett, I think you watched the game more than I did.
I watched to the third quarter.
I did not expect the Bengals to play as well as they did. The way Baltimore looked last week, even though it was against the Bills, I thought they could handily handle this, and that was not the case at all.
No.
Joe Flacco looked. Now listen, if you just look at his stats, he looked like a good game,
Yeah, he did.
But I think it was garbage time because in the beginning of that he was awful, just awful.
He finished with 32, 55, 376, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, so the picks earlier really what set him in. That running back they have, Collins. I heard so much about him this offseason, and then fantasy wise, how well he was going to play. And he had 9 carries for 35 yards. I don't know if it's the O-line problem or if he's just not finding the holes. I don't know. It just seems like they're just very – I mean, they had 15 run attempts last night to 55 pass attempts. That is no type of balance at all.
Not at all.
On the other side, AJ Green went vintage AJ Green last night.
Yeah, he finished with 5 receptions for 69 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Incredible. I've always been a big AJ Green guy. For a while, I thought he was top 1 or 2 in the league. He's kind of fallen off to probably 5th best wideout in the league. He's not always there. He's not always big, but when he does pop off, it changes games.
Amazingly. First touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, all in the first 20 minutes of the game, I think.
First half.
Yeah. So I don't know when the Andy Dalton and AJ Green train is going to stop. They've been doing it for a long time.
Long time.
And can never seem to get, to the promised land or even close to the promised land. But occasionally they do pop off like this and have very good games. Joe Mixon, he ran the ball decent for Cincinnati, 21 carries, 84 yards. Obviously, no touchdowns.
They still have Gio Bernard.
Yep. And she, only 6 carries, almost 30 yards. So they're running well. How many yards did that Tyler Boyd guy get?
I don't remember, but he caught a touchdown. I think wasn't as much as AJ Green, I don't think.
I got it right here if my laptop would let me scroll down, but it's tweaking out. But I know he was their second leading receiver last night. So, all right, I guess we're going to tweak out for a little bit. But, yeah, here it is. Oh, nope, it went away again. There it is. He had 91 yards with the other TD because obviously Dalton threw for 4 of them.
Right.
So, the Bengals are – I know last night wasn't very quiet, but
they're quietly 2-0.
Quietly 2-0. I don't even know who they played last week.
Bengals played –
but I know they played well. I know AJ didn't do much last week, but the team, I think, played well.
Yeah.
And, 2-0 goes a long way. I don't know what the percentage is, but 2-0 teams normally make the playoffs. I know, ESPN and everyone does their, number crunching early on what their percentage is to make the playoffs versus, teams that are 0-2 or 1-1, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So they're starting off hot. That division, Steelers lost, Steelers and Browns tied last week, and they just beat Baltimore. So – they're leading that division now.
Yeah.
And, honestly, 10-6 could win that division this year with the way the Steelers have looked. And, they're still not going to have Le'Veon this week. They don't even have him on the depth chart.
It's a shame, man.
Yeah. So James Conner's going to be running again.
He balled, man.
Yeah, he ran really well.
I think he had 140 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Something like that.
When you can do that, give a lot of credit to their offensive line for being able to block to somebody or for somebody.
A tie, though, man. Come on.
Yeah, well, a lot of that falls on the coaching staff. If you're Mike Tomlin, you got to be kicking yourself.
For sure, man.
About that. So, Steelers play KC this week. Kansas City looked amazing. So, they're going to have a tough one there. I'm not sure where that game's at.
Pittsburgh.
Is it in Pittsburgh? So, they're going against a young quarterback. So, Steelers, roster-wise, coaching staff, experience, should win the game.
Yeah.
But there's no telling when it comes to Pittsburgh because they seem to, lose the ones they shouldn't.
Wasn't Roethlisberger a little bit hobbled?
Yeah, I think he's been hobbled for 4 years. He always just seems hurt. I don't know why. But back to Baltimore, like I said, Cincy looked real good. Baltimore defense played amazing last week, but that's because they played the Bills, and everyone's predicting the Bills to go 0-16 this year. So, Baltimore is just struggling. I think they said Joe Flacco is either 40-41 or 41-41 since he won the Super Bowl in 2012.
Right.
That's got to be the worst for an every year starting quarterback since that, in that time frame. I guarantee you there's no other quarterback out there that's still starting that has a record that bad in the last 6 years.
For sure.
So that's just, atrocious. Like you say, he threw 2 picks, and just, I don't know. They're 1-1, so they're not, obviously it's still early, they have a chance, but if they play like that, then they're going to have a long, tough season. Here was, I think this was Joe Flacco's first pick from last night.
Fumbled a moment ago and was saved by his teammate. They may have an issue there. Here's a pick. That's an issue. Out of the hand of Flacco and into the rookie's arms, Jesse Bates. And an early takeaway for the Bengals defense.
So that was a terrible throw. He had pressure from the right and kind of off his back foot, slung one into what looked like a triple zone coverage. I guess he was trying to thread the needle. Did not work at all. Picked off early, and from there, that point on, they never had a shot. So, Joe Flacco, I think they owe him a lot more money still. He signed that big contract when he won the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure they've extended him since then. At what point do you kind of just you got to just start over? I mean, you got Lamar Jackson sitting there, and I guess Robert Griffin's there too. I would never start him. But at some point, if they were to go into another game, like next week, and Flacco plays bad and they lose again, do you see them maybe sitting him down and letting Lamar play? Or is it still too early to tell?
It's definitely too early to tell because even though he looked atrocious, he still threw for almost 400 yards and had 2 TDs at the same time.
Yeah, I get that.
And the problem, and they didn't even use Crabtree, man.
Yeah, which I thought, with him doing as well as he did with the Raiders last year, I thought they would have really tried to throw him into the game plan.
He's a veteran, man. Like, how do you not use a veteran?
I don't know.
But for sitting, I think it's still too early to tell. Who do they play next week?
Baltimore. I'm not sure.
I'm about to pull it up.
And Lamar did not look that well in the preseason.
No.
So I would if it was me, I'd stick with Flacco at least for the season.
And you definitely ain't putting RG3 in, man.
No, I'm not putting RG3 in ever. But just let Lamar sit back there and learn. I mean, that's what they're doing. That's why they drafted him. He's obviously Flacco's replacement.
Yeah.
If they can stay afloat to where, because how fans are. Fans get rowdy. So if say they lose 3 or 4 in a row, they're going to be begging for Lamar.
For sure.
And then you're going to throw a kid in there who, isn't really used to the speed of the game yet, and probably doesn't know the offense 100% yet. So you can't do that.
They play Denver next week.
Okay, and Denver looked good last week. It'll be interesting to see what they do this weekend. Let me find out who they play.
Denver?
Yeah.
I have it right here. They play Oakland.
Oh, okay. So I couldn't tell you what Oakland's going to do.
Well, they just re-signed Martavis Bryant.
Which is weird because they just cut him before the season started because of his
legal issue.
Yeah, whatever he has going on.
I don't know, man. They have the team too. I don't know what they're doing.
Oakland, I think I've seen a lot. They're saying possibly now that they have Gruden in there, he might just clean house and start over. They're talking about. I think they're talking about if he were to just pull Derek Carr and cut him or trade him, it's going to save them $15-16 million.
And bring in who?
I don't know. That's the question.
So do you even attempt?
Well, it's obviously not going to happen this season, but possibly in the off season or maybe before the trade. I don't know who they could. I don't think they would trade him. I don't think that would work out. But it's just John Gruden comes in there and they get rid of Khalil Mack because he didn't draft him. He probably didn't really like him.
They miss Khalil Mack, man.
Yeah, so you never know. He just might want to go in there and get guys that he wants and guys that he wants to draft and guys that he wants. You've seen a lot of coaches do it over the years. They come in and they just, no matter how well the team is, no matter how well the roster is or how well, they just get rid of guys because they didn't draft them. They didn't bring them in.
They still Marshawn. He looked good in the first half.
Yeah, Marshawn. But that's all Marshawn's going to give you while he's there is.
Yeah, it was he looked good. He was cutting. And he carried that defense to the end zone.
Yeah, he had that great run where he got stopped at the 4 by 4 guys, and then a bunch of his. It was at that point it was just kind of these linemen pushing against these linemen with Marshawn kind of in the middle somewhere, and ended up falling over the goal line.
But he didn't do much after that, and that's
what he's going to do. Marshawn's going to be that explosive 1 or 2 plays a game, and it's not going to be beast mode explosive from 2007. He's not going to run 89 yards to the house. Mm-mm. It's going to be he cuts up the middle, breaks 2 or 3 tackles, and then 15, 16-yard gain and gets up screaming. Just a nice pickup play. It's not. I think his explosive days and changing games is over with.
For sure.
But yes, he did look refreshed, but it was also the first game of the season. And also last year he came in off of retirement.
Yeah, he did.
This year he's coming in off of a year
with
playing. So
practicing
he's probably a little
conditioning.
more in shape than he was at this point last year.
He looked good, man. He looked explosive.
But if you're going to rely on an old age guy, and I'm sure Marshawn's in like elite shape, but we all know running backs fall off when they get older, and
It's the knees, man.
So if you're going to rely on him to be your runner, then Joe Flacco, Derek Carr is going to have to be an amazing, passer this year,
For sure.
and I just don't see it. So there's no telling, what's going to come for them.
I don't know what Amari Cooper's doing, man.
Yeah, Amari got like 1 fantasy point last week. I don't know why they didn't throw to him at all.
I don't even know why I picked him up, man.
And you think with them being down as early as they were last week,
They were up too. Like they were up.
Yeah,
and
they
then-
were up for a moment. But then after they got down, you think they would just be slinging it,
Exactly.
And Amari's a jump up and go get it type of guy. So I don't know
He's
what
tall
they're doing.
too. Like I don't even know what he's doing.
I mean, it might not be Amari. It could be. I'm telling you, it's different when you get a new coach in there. So
Especially John Gruden.
we'll see. Maybe Oakland can figure it out. They're going to need to be competitive in the AFC West. So I guess we can just dive into this week's, rest of week 2 games. Obviously, the big one I think everyone is talking about is Jacksonville versus New England. Rematch of the AFC title game. I do not know why this game is not a primetime game.
Yeah, dude, it's 4:25.
This should be the Sunday night or the Monday night game. I have no idea why it's a 4:30 game on a Sunday. So that kind of sucks.
It's actually good for me because I get off at 5, so I don't miss the entire game.
Yeah, well, what did New England win? Was it 28-24 last year, the AFC title game?
Yes.
I believe. So they won by 4. New England's picked as a 2-point favorite in Jacksonville. I mean, if there's a game New England's going to lose on the schedule, it's going to be this one. And that's because of I'm not even going to say that's like because of the secondary, even though they are, very good. The front 7 of Jacksonville and that pass rush. So we all know if you get to Tom Brady and get to his feet and get him going with some happy feet, you can beat him. He'll start making errant throws, and he won't be the normal touchdown Tom. And then also if you have great coverage on the outside, makes it almost impossible to even complete a pass.
Exactly.
So we've seen defenses like this eat and feed on great offenses, as Seattle did to Denver in the Super Bowl a few years ago, where they're kind of like, okay, you're not going to beat us deep because we're going to body you up, we're going to be physical. Take that underneath 3-yard throw, and we're going to hit you as soon as you catch it. So, and I know the Giants did some of that last week too with Odell. They did a lot of underneath stuff. I don't know how many times I've seen them run a pick play on Jalen, and it worked to perfection almost every time. So that's a way to beat Jalen, get him off of his guy. Like I was saying before, I've seen some other people say, Jalen likes to defend guys he can body up.
Yeah.
He wants a wideout to run at him, and they can push and touch, and Jalen can kind of get on him and be physical because he's a big guy. But with Odell last week, I mean, Odell's not going to get physical with you. He's going to run away from you. His routes are good. He'll run past you, and then he's going to run underneath and catch balls and catch, run after catch type deals. That's why he got, I think, 80 yards on Jalen last week.
I don't know. It's in Jacksonville, so Jacksonville has the advantage.
Well, yeah, it's going to be loud.
Yeah. So.
But things like that doesn't faze Tom anymore. Tom's played in every crazy environment you could ever play in. So that's not even a factor to me. The only factor it has is for like on the O-line, like a false start deal. They don't hear the snap count or something like that.
Yeah. But the Jacksonville's got to get to Tom. Otherwise, they're going to get 8 up.
Yeah, well, Tom gets the ball out in like 3 seconds. 3.4 seconds, maybe even quicker sometimes. So, that's one thing, that's how you beat a pass rush. You get the ball out.
Yeah.
But if you're getting the ball out that fast, it's your underneath stuff, which New England's been running the underneath routes for years now. So they've perfected it. They did pick up a few wideouts this week. They picked up, I think, like Danny Fowler Jr. He was in Indianapolis. He was in Denver for a few years. I don't think he did a whole lot there.
And they picked up another one.
Yeah, they got someone else. I don't know why I can't remember who it was, but those guys, there's no way they're going to like digest the entire New England playbook.
No.
So they'll probably be limited. So he's going to pretty much have Gronk to throw to and Chris Hogan.
And maybe, no.
So
And I forgot Julian Edelman still.
Julian's suspended, and Amendola is no longer with the team. So, that's why I see Jacksonville probably. I know New England's a 2-point favorite.
Mm-hmm. It's a very close matchup.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if there's a game New England loses this year, it's this one.
Yeah.
And that's because, who is he going to throw to besides Gronk?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you double Gronk like every single play, and then that's now what? They don't have a runner. They brought Jeremy Hill in last week, and he tore his ACL.
Yeah, but they still have Rex Burkhead.
Rex Burkhead's injured.
He's questionable.
Yeah, I think he's going to play, but Rex Burkhead isn't a runner.
No.
He's a little third down screen back or something.
They're definitely missing Dion Lewis.
Yeah, and Dion being in Tennessee now, so this has probably been one of the times in the last few years where
they do not have
Tom
a run game.
doesn't have a runner at all. Normally they've had 3 or 4 different runners, and they run by committee. They just don't have one this year.
They don't have a power back. They don't have a pass back.
So those pass rushers can just, go full throttle pass, almost every play. And if there's no threat to a run game, you can just send 4 every down and, be able to cover and get pressure because we know how good their D-line is.
Yeah.
I'm saying if it was my prediction, I don't know what the score is going to be. I think I eventually predicted like 24-20 Jacksonville or something like that. But I think what I think is actually going to happen is it'll be a tight game. I think Jacksonville will lead most of the game.
Okay.
But I think Tom's going to score a touchdown or set his team up for a field goal with like a minute left. And then it's going to be, can Blake get down the field and get in field goal range to win the game?
He can't. Like you said earlier when we were talking before the show, if they're down by 2 scores, it ain't happening.
Well, yeah. If Jags are down at any point, down by more than 7, I don't think they come back because they don't have the quick score ability. Fournette is going to play, but,
he's definitely questionable.
I'd almost say by the third quarter he's on the sideline watching because his hamstring's tightening up again. I don't believe in TJ Yeldon. TJ's a good, 6 carry, 30 yards, 2 receptions for 15 yards type of back. So he'll give you 50 net yards.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
they're gonna, if Fournette doesn't play, they're gonna miss Fournette, man.
And Fournette said that the team didn't miss a beat last week when he went out. Well, I don't remember that they scored a point when he went out last week. So
yeah, I don't think
I
so.
mean, they only put up. I don't even remember what the score was for last week when they beat him. Was it?
It was
It
20.
15-20 or something.
Yeah, it was very close.
So I mean, Jacksonville's turning into that team, which is kind of like how I always said Seattle was a couple years ago, where if you could score 20, you're going to beat them because that's all they can score. They're good for 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals the entire game. And the problem is those 2 touchdowns they score have to be perfect drives for them. They don't have the real quick score ability. They don't have really any return ability. So
It was 2015 last week.
2015, yeah. So they were. I mean, like I said, if New England scores more than 20-21, they win the game this week. That's my prediction. If it's under 20 or at 20, I would say Jacksonville wins. So that's what I'll give you.
I was going back and forth with a buddy last night. Asked about. He was saying, will the Patriots get any offensive or defensive penalties?
Oh, like calls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said none at all. So, and I was like, I think they will. But anyways, he asked me my prediction. I was like, I was really thinking. I was like, I hope it's a close game.
Yeah.
But my prediction ended up being 28-20 Jacksonville.
28. So you got Jacksonville winning by 8 points.
Yeah. Big prediction.
Yeah.
And another, I saw through the comments, another guy said 38-20. I'm like, there's no way the Patriots are putting up 38 points.
No, I don't think I don't think Patriots will put up. Like I said,
It's going to be a close game.
it's going to be 23-20 New England,
Mm-hmm.
or it's going to be 20-17 Jacksonville.
Real close.
If you can get over 20 points, I think you beat Jacksonville.
Agree.
I mean, if the Giants would have done it last week, they would have won. So, it's one of those just you never know how the game's going to go. I mean, Tom Brady, looked very good last week,
Mm-hmm.
but their defense did not. I mean, they gave up 20 points to Houston.
Yeah.
After I think they were up at one point, like 21-7 or 20, something like that, and then they let Houston kind of get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it all depends on Blake. I mean,
He can't get.
Fournette's going to give you a touchdown and 80 yards.
Agreed.
So who else? I know he threw one last weekend because they were on like the 7-yard line, a little play action. And they threw it to the corner of the end zone. Really good play calling. And Jacksonville, they're that team. They're just going to run, short little pass, run, pass, run. There's just nice. They have nice flow, but it's nothing explosive.
And I think that's what they're going to need.
I do too. So the DBs are going to cover well.
Oh,
I mean, Jalen might cover Gronk a few times. Depends where they. If you're a good coordinator for New England, you just don't let Gronk outside of the hashes.
Yeah.
And then Jalen won't cover him, and Boye won't cover him, and you'll have Telvin on him, but he's a lot bigger than Telvin.
Way bigger than Telvin.
And I know last year in the AFC title game, Gronk caught that one ball at the seam for 21 yards, and I don't know if it was Gibson or whoever it was, just smashed him and knocked him out of the game. Which Jalen's already referred to doing that this year, so he's going to take a shot.
Even to his grandmother, man.
Yeah, but I think if you see one of those DBs trying to take Gronk out the game with the new helmet rule, I think somebody gets ejected in this game. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think someone in the New England-Jacksonville game, on either side, at least one player gets ejected, I feel. There's going to be a lot of emotion. Jacksonville's playing with a chip on their shoulder, and New England's coming in there like, yeah, we're New England, we're going to beat you.
Yeah.
So it's, pretty much how it always is, except Jacksonville actually has a chance this time.
I think they do too. And honestly, I think they're going to win.
The only thing that has me is, New England saw Jacksonville for the first time last year in the AFC title game and beat them. So now everyone knows Jacksonville's defense is, good.
Top notch.
Yeah. So either the Giants are going to be pretty good this year because they almost beat Jacksonville, or the Giants are going to be bad again and they almost beat Jacksonville. So take your pick. Was that game last week showing how strong Jacksonville's defense is to hold Odell and them to 15 points? Or is it like, hey, you guys only beat the Giants by 5?
And Odell had over 100 receptions. It was like 11 catches for like 111 yards.
Yeah, he played well. Just couldn't find the end zone.
I think Jacksonville got lucky,
Trust me, there was a few plays last week where Eli had a guy or two open down.
Completely missed.
It just missed him, yeah. But that's because the pressure gets to him.
Yeah.
And you got to get the ball out. So that's kind of Jacksonville's deal. So, I don't know. Other key games this week, you got Atlanta and Carolina.
Big
Atlanta
matchup.
looked terrible against Philly last weekend, and then Carolina looked very good. Who do they even play?
They played Dallas, remember?
Oh, yeah, because Zeke didn't do anything.
It was 16-8.
So, again, Carolina's offense didn't look, well, but when your defense is playing that good, you don't have to. We know Atlanta can put up points, but last week they did terrible. The only good thing about Atlanta last week was Julio went for over 170 yards.
Yeah, it was a big Julio game.
So it's going to be Julio or die for Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, I think, is still either day-to-day or questionable for the game this week. So that means they're going to have to go with Coleman. Can Cam not make any mistakes? Atlanta's also without Keanu Neal. I think he has a torn ACL. He's done for the season. So their secondary's hurting. That's the early season division matchup. I think Carolina wins.
I agree.
I really want Atlanta to play well, but I think they're going to fall to 0-2. And Carolina, a lot of people are scared of Carolina this year for some reason. But I guess it's because every year they're like good, then they're bad, then they're good, then they're bad. And last year they were bad, so I think people expect them to be good this year.
What you're going to see Carolina missing is Greg Olsen.
Well, he didn't really play last week either. He played like a quarter and went out.
He hurt his foot.
Right, foot problem. Well, he had a back problem coming in, and then he fractured his foot. So both teams beat up, and then if it comes to toughness and just, Matty Ice isn't looking very cold lately. He doesn't have any ice in his veins. He's playing more like they were all calling him Andy Dalton after that game, which I bet he hopes he can play like Andy did last night.
No kidding. He better put up some points, man.
Yep. So we'll see that game.
That's a big matchup, though.
It is. Like I said, it's a good early season divisional matchup because both those teams are going to be around probably 10-6 when the playoffs come around, and it's going to go to like their divisional record. Cleveland plays New Orleans. New Orleans defense looked just god awful against Tampa last week, but they also did put up 40 points. So I think New England handily beats Cleveland, giving them their first loss of the season because Cleveland is undefeated at the moment.
Don't even start.
Miami and the Jets are both 1-0, which is surprising. I think every team in the AFC West or the AFC East won last week. New England won, Jets won, Miami. Oh no, the Bills lost.
Yeah, Bills got. Yeah. Oh God.
Sam Darnold threw a pick six on his first play with the Jets last week, and then just went ham for the rest of the game.
He looked good, man.
So I think he's going to continue to look good. Some people are saying he is the dude that's going to carry Jets for the next 10 to 12 years. You have no way of telling after one game. It's the overreaction. But
they play Miami this week, right?
Yeah, they're both 1-0. Miami barely beat Tennessee last week in an 8-hour game, beat them 27-20. Miami does not look good. Tennessee just looked worse. You have KC Pitt. Kansas City looked amazing. Pitt looked god-awful also. Only able to put up, 21 against Cleveland.
Yes.
Going to have no Le'Veon Bell once again as his contract situation is still on hold.
They're fine with James Conner, man. James Conner looked really good last week.
He ran very well. Patrick Mahomes for KC, he did his thing. Really, he showed it in preseason that he could sling the ball, and he did it again. Him and Kareem Hunt together are scary dangerous.
Wait, dude. Oh, my God. Kareem Hunt.
So, Philly-Tampa. Philly's offense looked bad, but their defense looked great.
You think they got Fitzmagic in them this week? Man?
I don't think Tampa's going to have any Fitzmagic. I think they get beat pretty handily. I'm going to say like 30-17. Tennessee plays Houston. I don't even care anymore. If Tennessee can't beat Miami, we're probably not going to beat Houston, who just competed with New England. Marcus Mariota, my confidence is starting to fall off. I know he just won me a playoff game last year, but, he couldn't even throw the ball against Miami. Then he got hurt twice during the game. He's been day-to-day, like all week long, with his arm or shoulder, whatever is wrong with him. So I don't know. It's in Tennessee, so that's our only hope. I think we have the best record in the last couple of years, like for home openers or something.
Yep.
So that's about our only hope is that, luck keeps staying on our side with that.
Minnesota and Green Bay.
Yeah, that's a big game. A lot of people were thinking A-Rod should sit out this week and heal that foot or whatever.
It's a big divisional game, man. They can't.
I guess he said he had a knee sprain is what it is. So, and then Minnesota looked – who did they play?
They played San Fran.
Oh, yeah. So, it's again, there's a lot of good early divisional matchups this week.
Really good games.
That's another one. I don't know if it's in Green Bay or in Minnesota.
It's in Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay, so Green Bay will more than likely win. Even though, I don't know, Minnesota, I think last time Minnesota played Green Bay, they shut them out, right?
Yeah, they did.
So.
Yeah, wasn't that the first game of the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it was a wild card round.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be a really good game, actually. That's Sunday at 1. See if Minnesota, I think that Adam Thielen, it's Harrison Smith, I think, is the one of the DBs for, I think it's like that white DB that Minnesota has.
Yeah.
The safety. He said he's looking forward to another shutout. So, we'll see. That'll be a sweet game. Any other big games? Arizona, LA. LA should win that pretty easily. San Fran, Detroit. That's just going to be a crap fest both ways.
I think San Fran's going to get their first win.
You don't think Stafford can bounce back after a terrible performance?
That was awful.
So 4 or 5 interceptions last week?
4. It was terrible.
So that sucks.
You got Oakland, Denver.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. And
hopefully
then
Oakland can bounce.
Seattle, Chicago. That'll be interesting.
Chicago looked good first half last week.
Yeah, but this week you're going to have the mobile Russell Wilson to deal with.
Yeah, but
so that's going to slow that pass rush down a little bit. It's going to, I know Khalil had a great game and everything.
He had an awesome defense.
That's also because he got signed last Wednesday.
Yeah.
So the Packers had zero time to game plan against him.
He looked monstrous.
Seattle's had game film in a week, so I think they neutralized that. I think Seattle wins that Monday night game. And then the Sunday night game you were talking about was the Giants and Dallas. Both 0-1. Both looked, like I said, the Giants, lost to the Jags, and Dallas lost to Carolina. Zeke Elliott, I think he had 1 touchdown. He looked really bad in the first half. I watched most of that game because I got Zeke on fantasy. So he didn't do anything. They kept it close. But what did you say? 18-6 or 16-8 or something like that. The Carolina game.
Yeah, it was 16-8.
So again, Dallas only able to put up 8 points. Do they miss Dez Bryant? I don't think so. I just think that team's not as good as everyone thinks this year. I don't even have Dallas getting into the playoffs. I don't believe.
I have Dallas going pretty far in the playoffs.
Do you? Well, they're going to have to beat the Giants this week.
Dude, they're
who
missing.
you have going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So.
they're missing. I'm telling you, when I did my hot takes, the other day, they're definitely missing Des Bryant, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Dez is a headache, and he didn't do much last year. They're just missing a good wideout. Like Cole Beasley's like their best person to throw to.
Allen Hurns.
Allen's not even that good. He got hyped up because Blake Bortles had a lot of garbage time in 16 or 15 and threw him the ball a lot when they were down 30-0, and he caught a bunch of passes.
Mm-hmm.
Allen Hurns is overrated. Allen Robinson for Chicago, also thinking of Jags' former wideouts. I think he had a couple catches in the Chicago game, I think.
Oh, dude, they're constantly throwing Allen Robinson.
Okay, yeah, so he did look good. But he's, good size and everything also. So he should thrive there.
And it's in Dallas, so,
In Jerry World, where Dallas never wins.
Terrible, man.
I think the Giants win that game. I say Giants win 25-20.
We had a close game, though.
Weird score. Yeah, they're both, those games.
I think I have the Giants winning, too.
I mean, Eli threw the ball well last week and found Odell. So it was just.
Here, you want a wild prediction?
It was a Jags defense.
You want a wild prediction?
What?
48-40.
No, this isn't the Saints.
Yes, sir. I see another Saints game.
No.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I just don't think Dallas has 40 points in them.
No, you can't.
No.
Zeke can't get no 300 yards.
I hope he does. I get all types of points.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, one thing I wanted to ask was, so you had New England and Giants going to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Before first week started. New England won, Giants lost. Did that change anything for you?
Dallas is kind of scaring me.
Dallas just lost.
I know.
You think they're going to – I mean, they could win. Yeah, if you go 0-2, you're probably not going to make the playoffs.
No.
My picks were the Chargers and the Saints. They both lost last week.
Does that change anything for you?
Not a damn thing.
Ooh, really?
The Saints put up 40 points.
But they were getting their butt handed
But it was
to them.
Ryan Fitzmagic, okay? He gets 1 or 2 games a year where he does that when he gets to play, and then he's done. New Orleans will lose like 2 more games all season. And then the Chargers, I thought they were going to beat KC until I saw Patrick Mahomes start slinging a football.
Dude, Patrick
and I was
Mahomes,
like, wow, this
dude.
kid might be special. So the Chargers get the Rams. I'm sorry. The Chargers get Buffalo.
Sorry. Hold on. I have it right here.
I think they get Buffalo.
Yeah, they get Buffalo, so
that,
they should win.
Yeah, that's a win. So they'll be right back on track. Phillip Rivers only needs like 9-7 to get in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say that. See, because they're all in the AFC West, which I had Denver getting in as a 6th seed, and I had the Chargers winning their division. But if KC plays like that the rest of the year, unless that's the one division where 3 teams come from, which it happens a lot from that division, or it used to. So I'm just telling you, get Phillip Rivers in the playoffs, and they're going to go far this year. That's all I'm saying. So it does not change a thing for me. I still have Chargers beating the Saints in the Super Bowl.
Good prediction.
So we'll see.
Yeah, because everyone bandwagoned you on that prediction, man.
Well, like everyone said that, and then the Chargers lost last week, and they're like, "Oh no, never mind, they're not going to go." People still have faith in the Saints because they're the Saints. It's Drew Brees. He can always, I don't say he can always get you to the playoffs, but he normally gets there.
Yes, sir.
So, what else did we have? That's pretty much kind of a preview of all the games coming up this week. Nothing crazy happened this week.
No, not really.
One thing we didn't press on was Aaron Rodgers. How bad do we think his injury is?
I don't think it's that bad, man.
Did you see his post-game interview last week, though?
Dude, he was hot.
He was juiced up. He was straight up.
They said it was adrenaline, but no, man.
No, they gave him, like, all kinds of crap. I mean, he was wide-eyed, like he just drank, like, an extra, extra large coffee and then, like, snorted a line of Coke. He was ready to go. He had, like, a weird little, like, hillbilly accent when he was talking. And I just don't know where any of that came from. Like, I don't know. Whatever it is, and you just give it to him again before the game starts this week.
Yeah, man. Like,
he was probably screaming in the huddle. They're probably like, "Bro, calm down. We're right here."
I don't know. He's gonna definitely need to be healthy for Minnesota.
Yeah, because he's gonna get hit.
Oh, no doubt.
So
no doubt about it.
I don't know. I don't think it's that serious. I mean, you come back into a game and play that well, whether you were high or not. Your
Exactly.
body obviously could still do it. So, but the whole, why were you carded off if it's not that serious? Like I'm telling you,
I think it was I think because he went in the tent, and, I'm sure they were trying to work something out, trying to figure out what he got, and then I guess the cart was like a precautionary.
I guess, yeah. We don't want you to walk on it to the locker room. Might get hurt.
Yeah, no kidding.
Listen, he is one like actual injury away from being Tony Romo. I don't care that he came back and had a great.
Luckily,
comeback
it was
win.
his knee.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. Obviously the comeback win. I did my own set of hot takes too this week, and I couldn't figure out how to freaking
Upload.
It just I don't even talk about it. It made me mad, but because Brett did his, but the comeback was nothing short of amazing.
It was beautiful.
Very rarely.
Because I turned off at half, and then I got up the next morning.
Very rarely does a person come back at the end of a
20 to
game
nothing.
like they don't come back from 20 to nothing unless you're Tom Brady. But to come back down by that much after you went out of the game on a cart is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, yes, Aaron Rodgers' career has been incredible. Ooh, amazing. How does he do it? Oh my God, I can't believe he does it. Wait, he just lost in the playoffs again.
That 70-yard touchdown, the game winner.
Yep. I mean, like I said,
Cobb got lucky.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. But, it's amazing. But, how many times have we got to see Aaron Rodgers get carried off on a stretcher or a cart or walk off with his shoulder hanging because his collarbone's broke again before we start saying that maybe he's never going to get back to a Super Bowl, and maybe if it wasn't for his one Super Bowl ring, we'd call him Tony Romo. Obviously, his stats are going to end up being better than Tony's because he's more talented.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as what he's accomplished, and like I was talking with people before, he's probably got 2-3 years being this elite, and then what?
Fall off the cliff.
So, and yes, Tom Brady at 41 balled out last week, so he's not falling off of anything.
It's that whole team's.
The only thing that's happening is more people are jumping onto his bandwagon, even though they could lose this. Oh God, can you imagine if they lose this week to Jacksonville? Tom Brady could throw for 699 yards and 11 touchdowns, and they lose. They'd be like, Tom's falling off the cliff. He can't win anymore. Like, it doesn't matter, what he does personally. If their defense gives up 99 points, it's like, well, it's Tom's fault.
It's Tom's fault.
Like, no.
Tom doing?
I mean, you throw for over 500 yards in the
Do
Super
you
Bowl.
realize, though, if he loses and they hop on telling Tom's falling off a cliff, do you realize they go to that same statement every single time?
Yeah, he's going to get super angry and he's going to win a Super Bowl. And honestly, if I'm Jacksonville, I don't even want to win this game because if you beat him, okay, week 2 you beat him, great. They're 1-1, you're 2-0. Tom Brady will be in the playoffs, and more than likely you will see him, and he's going to be pissed off that you beat him the first time.
Who's in their division again?
Well, it's the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
So who do you most fear in that division?
None of them. I mean, Sam Darnold looked great, but
I think the only competition. So honestly, the Patriots could lose 6 games and still make the playoffs.
yeah, easily.
For sure.
I don't even think they're going to be I have them at the 1 seed because I do. I think they lose this game, and they might lose to the Steelers late in the season. But other than that, I think they're going to go 13-3, 14-2. So I got them as the 1 seed, which last year they would have been the 2 seed if that whole Jesse James touchdown
wasn't that a catch?
Yeah, if they would have let that be a catch, then they're the 2 seed instead of the 1 seed, and maybe we're having a different talk about who's the Super Bowl champion this year. So
yeah,
but yeah. So this week, a lot of big games. So glad it's week 2. All the week 1 jitters are over with.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get to see a new rookie this week. Josh Allen's gonna start for the Bills because Nathan Peterman
sucks.
It's terrible.
Terrible.
It's like,
what were they even thinking?
he started 3 games or 2 games in the NFL. He's thrown 7 interceptions for I think he has 40 total yards. So yeah,
Come on, Bills. What are you doing?
really, really bad.
Come on, Nathan Peterman.
Well, I mean, I get starting him last week because you want your new guy to sit and wait, but then he does that, and it's like, okay, new guy,
How? What was in his thoughts when he was like, interception? Josh Allen's just sitting there
I think he's trying to get benched. I think he doesn't want to play. Maybe if I suck this bad, they'll just, they won't cut me. They'll just sit me.
they might as well go ahead and cut him, man. That was
They
awful.
should. He's not even going to be a good backup. Just
Come on, just
send
put
him
Josh.
back. Send him on back down here to St. Augustine, and
All right, Ponte Vedra.
Yeah,
y'all
PV.
gotta restart this one, man.
Oh man.
All right.
But yeah, so that's about it.
Week 2 is going to be exciting, man.
It's gonna be a really good week. Can't wait to talk about it when it's over. Can't wait to watch it.
Big games. Big
A lot of
games.
early big matchups. Do they mean anything? Probably not, but we're going to act
Divisional-wise,
like they
they
do.
do.
Yeah, divisional they do. The divisional games do. So, but all right. Well, thanks for tuning in and watching if you're on Facebook. We appreciate it.
I got some comments going.
Yeah. We're actually going to hang this up here in a second, and then
We're going to do some fantasy.
we're going to do a little short fantasy episode and talk about that a little bit for anybody who plays fantasy football. And hopefully they don't suck as bad as I do.
0-1, boy. I'm rocking that 0-1.
Sir. Just like my Titans. So, all right, guys. Well, don't forget to check us out on all our platforms, websites,
Facebook,
Twitter, Instagram. You know the deal. Every time.
Yes, sir.
And we need those iTunes and
we're kicking reviews.
iPodcast reviews. If we get enough reviews, we'll be put on like the listen chart or whatever they have on there.
We charted up new noteworthy.
Yep. So if we can get up there, I mean, I think that what's the dude's at the top of that? It's like Joe Rogan or something.
No, Joe Rogan.
Rogan, the comedian.
Rogan, yeah.
He's got like 27,000 reviews.
That's not that hard. We get
So
there.
I want to get there. So tighten the hell up. Or I'm going to steal all your iPhones and raid ourselves. So appreciate the listen, and hopefully you'll tune in for our fantasy show later on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Told you. 45, boy.
45 again?
Yeah, man.
Fuck, I was trying to go 35.
Yeah, that wasn't happening.
Oh, my God. My freaking back always hurts. Dang it. I looked at it because I thought we started at 110, so I thought we were like 32 minutes.